Hello, my name is Andrea Del Verrocchio. This is what I looked like back in the days. I was a very important part of the Renaissance. I was born in 1435 in Florence. When I was young, I had to support my brothers and sisters because of our financial problems. I was actually trained as a goldsmith by my master Giuliano Verrocchio, whose last name I took as my own. I was a master at an art school and I taught many students how to paint, sculpt, and build architectural figures. As you may know, one of my students was Leonardo da Vinci, who was one of the most famous Renaissance artists of all time. The Renaissance was from 1300 to 1600. The name Renaissance means rebirth, as in the rebirth of the arts and learning. It began in Italy and later spread to France and other parts of Europe. It took a little bit longer to get to France and England because they were locked in the 100 Years' War. It all started after the Crusades when the warriors bought goods in Eastern Europe on their journey home. People from Western Europe wanted these goods and trade routes to begin to open up. The Renaissance art was more realistic than medieval art. Renaissance art showed the human body while medieval art hid the body. The medieval humans all had the same faces with no distinctive traits. The Renaissance humans were all different and had distinctive traits. The Renaissance art also showed more depth by using a horizon line and a vanishing point. It looked almost like you could walk into the painting. Overall, Renaissance art was much more realistic. Renaissance artists were trained very well. At first, Renaissance artists were trained at age 8 to 14, and later are journeymen usually from age 14 to 21. Later, they would create their masterpiece. Speaking of masterpieces, I had a few of my own. One of them is the Madonna and Child. The Madonna and Child was one of my favorite paintings that I made. I really focused on the mother holding her child, hence the name Madonna and Child. This painting right here, I made it in the year of 1470. Another one of my masterpieces is the Tobias and the Angel. The subject of this painting came from the apocryphal book of Tobit. I made it in 1470 also. Another one of my paintings is the Baptism of Christ. This was a religious painting showing exactly what the name is, the Baptism of Christ. I was assisted by Leonardo da Vinci in the making of this painting. Even though I did make paintings, I also was a sculptor and had a few sculptures of my own. One of my sculptures is Christ and St. Thomas. This sculpture was one I was very proud of. Although the sculpture was great, it took me 16 years to make. From 1467 to 1483. This is a small picture of it. And my last sculpture was one of Bartolomeo Colleoni. This statue is 13 feet of pure bronze and named after a brutal mercenary, ready for battle. That is all about me for today, folks. Until next time. This video was brought to you by Group E2.